have some very special guests for you. We have two hit makers, two wonderful artists who are charting, and I think you're going to find them extremely interesting. So I just want to explain Hitmakers to some of you who are new to the show. Hitmakers is a new show, and it's a different kind of show. It's really kind of exciting. We have two artists who are tracking and charting nationally in some genre, and we have them on to talk about their hits, but also to talk to each other about how do you make a hit, how do you know it's going to be a hit, and what do you do after you have a hit. It'll be interesting to hear from both of the artists we have on tonight as they engage each other in a dialogue about the industry and about music and about becoming successful. So with that said, let me tell you a little bit about the two artists that we have on tonight. Mavis Swan Poole and Alex Harris, both of whom appeared separately on another show I host called the Jazz Confusion Power Hour. Both of them are on that show, and I've welcomed them back because they've been charting and they've had hit songs and they have wonderful careers going. So those are our two exceptional guests for tonight. So before I bring them on, let me tell you a little bit about each of them. Mavis Swan Poole, she is incredible. Mavis was crowned Little Ella by the late legendary trombonist Curtis Fuller. Mavis is known for being one of the first jazz soul vocalists to employ her ability to sing two notes at the same time. It's called multiphonics. And when I listen to Mavis, I can hear it, and it's amazing to hear her voice. She's a mezzo soprano, I believe. I'll ask her about that a little bit. She's just an incredible vocalist. Late Al Jarreau summed it up best when she would appear on the same stage with Al Jarreau. He said, "Listen, I was around with Coltrane and Miles. They wouldn't have wanted to get on stage after what you all just did." Mavis has performed and shared the stage with greats in most genres. She's multi-genre, and that includes Lauryn Hill, Ninth Wonder, Prince and Amp, MPG, Gladys Knight, Mavis Staples, Sheryl Crow, Shirley Caesar, Dr. Billy Taylor, and the Wailers. Please welcome Mavis Swan Poole to our show tonight. Mavis, welcome.
Hi.
You look lovely.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to have you back on the show. You were one of the first guests I had on when I started the Power Hour.
Yes.
So it's nice to have you back.
Good.
Let me introduce your fellow songwriter, composer, vocalist tonight, Alex Harris. Alex is rapidly becoming, in my mind and the mind of many others, the king of Southern soul. A beautiful, soulful, uncanny voice characteristic of the legendary Sam Cooke and Al Green. Alex is at the top of his game. Alex's impressive resume includes performances at two presidential galas, the Premier Bermuda Gala, Prime Minister of Ireland Gala, and various prestigious events worldwide. Beyond headlining his own shows, he has shared the stage and collaborated with iconic entertainers like Lionel Richie, Al Green, Her, H-E-R, Alicia Keys, Brandy, Steve Crapper, Blues Brothers, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, Bobby Rush, Eric Benet, John Legend, Kirk Franklin, Lamar Rucker, having trouble with that one, Leon Roberts, and many others. Alex, his Serenacci debut, Back to Us, his new LP, is due out on April 12th, 2024. Alex has teamed up with an all-star cast of songwriters, including Shannon Sanders, who's written for John Legend, Pink, Jill Scott, and Lyle Lovett, Kelvin Welsh from Solomon Burke, The Judds, and Garth Brooks, Ruby Amanfu from Beyonce, Alicia Keys, Brandy, Carlisle, and H-E-R, Her, and Sam Ashworth, who did Her, Leslie Odom Jr. Please welcome our other special guest for tonight, Alex Harris. Alex, welcome. You're muted. There you go.
Thank you for having
You're
me.
unmuted. Okay. So I'm glad to have both of you back. Alex, You were on the Power Hour also. I had you
Yes.
on, yeah, once before too. So I'm glad to welcome you both back. And now both of you have new albums, new music out, or you're charting. You have hits that are top, on the board. So, it's. I'm not surprised at all. I assume that both of you are going to go on to have great success.
Thank you.
So let me start out with Mavis. I have a few questions to ask you, Mavis. I mentioned that you're multiphonic. Explain that to people.
Well, when I was little, I didn't know, but I had the ability to sing with sing one note, more than one note at the same time. And growing up, I just kind of did it to freak my friends out. So that was why I did it. And when I moved to New York, it was just one day in the shower. By then, I was an adult. I was playing around with it. This had to be like 2007, the end of 2007 or the very beginning of 2008. And I realized that I could actually control them when I was in the shower. And I just kind of ran out of the bathroom and shared it with my roommates, and everybody kind of flipped because we're all, jazz heads. So I started playing around with it, when I was scatting or when I was doing it in jazz. So um, I also had I was born with what you call a vocal sulcus, where my vocal folds were actually split. I didn't know it. So I had to go through vocal surgery at one point, and I was kind of I was preparing myself to not be able to access it anymore. And I was like, if it's gone, then that's fine, because that meant it was a part of damage or something that wasn't right. But lo and behold, after the surgery, I was still able to access it. And the ear, nose, and throat specialist said that there were tissues that were picking up overtones or different things, and that's kind of how the sound was happening. So it's become a part of what I do sometimes at live shows. And it's like anything, it's like some days it's there, some days it's stubborn, but it's painful for the audience sometimes for me to get to. So I try to get to it away from the mic and then come back when I feel it ready. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
When I listen to your music, I hear it, and it's such an authentic and characteristic voice that is so unusual and so beautiful to listen to.
Thank
So
you.
I just wanted people to hear, what multiphonics really is, and to be able to appreciate this even when they hear your wonderful vocals. You know, um, when I heard you sing first time quite a while ago when you sang "Killing Me Softly," and I thought that you did that as well, if not better, than Roberta Flack, who originated it.
Mm, thank
So
you.
I've been following you for quite some time, and you have just an amazing voice. I said at the introduction that you're a mezzo soprano. Is that accurate?
It is accurate. Today, I'm more like tenor bass because I've been working with my voice a lot. But yes, I absolutely am a mezzo soprano. Yes,
Yeah, we'll talk about that a
aka
little bit more later. Go ahead.
aka alto. That's what. Just to make
Yes.
sure everyone understands, I am an alto. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But that's another thing we'll talk about. I want to talk about the range that you have in your voice when we talk about it a little bit later. You know, um, you know, your voice reminds me so much, and some of your music, of Lady Gaga, because she's also a mezzo soprano, and also Erica Badu. Both of those your voice reminds me of tremendously.
Hmm.
So
I've
so
heard Erica. I've never heard Lady Gaga. That's a first for me.
yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, if you listen to her voice, she's a mezzo also, and there aren't that many mezzos out there, and that's why I think there is a vocal similarity, but that's not bad company to be in.
I hear you. I hear you.
Either one. Okay, right now you have a great song out that's nationally charting on Media Base and moving up every week. Every Man Ain't the Same, and we're going to play that tonight also. But before we play it, maybe you can tell everybody a little bit about the backstory of that song, how it came about.
Well, you know, I get so used to hearing women, people really, but especially women, complain about men and how they are, and all of them are just alike and whatever else. And it's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. There's no two people that are alike. People may have certain tendencies or whatever else, depending on what their, you know, culture is or whatever else. There will be similarities in people, but I grew up around an amazing father, amazing brothers, beautiful men in my life. Of course, there were some jerks and people that I wish I never met. Of course, you know, but the same goes with women. There are women that I wish, just like, you know, I won't even say, but because of that, it's like I thought it was a refreshing space, just a different perspective to just kind of remind people that you don't judge new lovers off of old ones. That's ridiculous. You'll never find true happiness treating your new like your old, because everyone's different. So that's pretty much the mindset that I was in, and the message that I wanted to relay to everybody. You know, it's just an important thing to remember, especially Black men. You know, I think that's a huge thing. Like the stereotypical view of just the way we see men. I think King Alex is great. I'm glad I'm here with him because he's a perfect representation of it. I don't want to jump the gun, but I think he's such a breath of fresh air for right now, you know, and that just goes to show that every man ain't the same, you know. So, you know, that's pretty much what it was, to remind us of the reality of things.
Yeah, that's great. You know, I'm just curious. How did you decide from the songs that you had on your album? How did you decide to release that song? And Alex, I'm curious too, how you decide make decisions on which song to release when you have an album. What comes first and why? So, Alex, you want to take a shot at that first? You give us an idea. Is it a team decision? Is it only your decision?
It's a team decision for me. I sometimes I'm so close to the project that I want to hear the opinion of others. I usually refer to my one of my brothers who does this every day, all day in sequencing. He's a producer as well, who's actually one of the producers on my Frequency album, on the single "Lose My Religion," as well as "Back to Us" album. And I ask him without telling him what I think. What does he think? And then, of course, manager, and I think we all know Myron, and he weighs in.
Yeah,
So
Myron's
it's
is
a
the
team
best.
effort, yeah. And now with the new label, they weigh in as well. So I usually go with the majority because at the end of the day, I have forever to sequence on stage for my concerts. So and so
Well,
I don't really even choose. I mean, I guess I'm a part of the choosing process for songs. I write all the time, and I think I have a good ear for it. But I try to lean to my community we've created. As it has been said, it takes a team to make a dream work.
yeah, yeah. I really appreciate your explanation, but I thought the answer was your wife.
It's part of the process as well.
All right, Mavis, how about you? How do you decide which song to release?
Well, I think I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum. Um, it ends up being a me decision. And a lot of that is because as a female, there was a lot of times that I had to fight my way to kind of be heard and to be taken seriously. Didn't matter that I had a master's, didn't matter about this or that. It was just like I really saw how people overlooked my opinion, my brilliance, all of these things, just because I didn't have an extra muscle, if you catch my drift. So because of that, there it used to be for me. It was years of teaming for me. So I'm actually in the space of um, making sure that people are aware that my art is my art, and this comes from um, either it's just mine or me coupled with the person that I'm working with. However, I do absolutely get input and I get feedback from all over the place. But in the end, I go within and I see what feels right to me. And I have to be honest that sometimes I am open to, like, there's been because I'll use this as an example because I am a school teacher. The first project that came out of the album was The Assignment, which is very adult. Yeah. So I was freaking out because I was like, Myron, I don't think like my kids are going to be, I don't think this is a good idea. He was just kind of assuring
me. They'll look at you the same way again.
Yes. He just assured me, like, just go with it. Let's, and I'm thankful that I did because the response was amazing, and so even though I am in the space where I am saying, okay, but it has to feel like a yes to me. I can't just say, yeah, everybody else feels as a yes and I have a strong no. And I'm just like, okay, let's go with it. Like, I have to get to that space of, in the end, it's my name on it. It's my image. Everything revolves around me. So I have to have that thing where I feel solid about it and committed to it, but also with mentally, spiritually, also with their input in place, helping me kind of guide, that space.
You're raising an interesting question. You know how long the Grammys have been around. When you look at Album of the Year, do you know how many women have won Album of the Year at the Grammys since it started?
No.
11. That's it. All male dominated. And Album of the Year is the biggest, it's just about the biggest Song of the Year and Album of the Year is the biggest award. And only 11 women have won that category. And this is the first year in 2024 where women are dominating the Grammys in terms of nominations. So, when you talk about the difficulty of being a woman in this industry, it's very obvious.
Yes.
So anyway, let's start out by playing one of your wonderful songs. Every Man Ain't the Same. All right. Okay. So we'll start out with that one. Let me pull that up, and we'll be back and we'll talk about it afterwards.
There was so much before, hearts broken and the tears they poured, and love knocked again at my door, but I wanted to be sure. Oh, how could I love again when I was still healing? Should I give it a try? Should I give it a try? I wish you could understand the way that I love this man. And then I decided, baby, I'ma trust you. I'ma trust you because I have to, but I want to, and I want you, and I believe that we got a good thing. I believe in us, I believe in baby, I'ma trust you, not because I have to, but I want to, and I want you, and I believe that we got a good thing. We got a good thing. Every man ain't the same. Every man ain't the same. No, no. Every man ain't the same. No, no. And I'm so grateful, 'cause there are times when I wanna look through your phone and I say, no, girl, leave it alone. Leave that man's phone alone. 'Cause there's still work I gotta do so that I can be the best I can for you. I gotta remind myself, baby, I'ma trust you, not because I have to. I'ma trust trust you. But I want to, and I want you. I'm gonna trust you. That we got a good thing. And we got a good thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'ma trust you. Not because I have to. You're my man. But I want to, and I want you. And I'm your lady. That we got a good thing. Yeah, yeah. I'ma trust you. Not because I have to. Gonna trust you. But I want to, I trust you. And I believe you're not like anybody else. So no, 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 no. Trust you. Not because I have. That's why I love you, boy. And I want you. That's why I love you, baby. That we got a good thing. Every man ain't the same. Never met a man like you to treat me the way that ain't the same.
Wonderful.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's such a, I just checked, by the way, and the song is moved from 33 to 29.
Yay!
You're in the 20s, dear. You're getting there.
Yay! Thank you.
Yeah. Alex, as a fellow songwriter and vocalist, what is it about the song that strikes you when you listen to Mavis's song, "Every Man Ain't the Same"?
Well, I think that a few things. Number one, the song, the composition. Did I understand you wrote this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I think the writing is absolutely amazing. I think the way it's very catchy, and it has a strong message that the production around it helps to tell that message in a very very direct way. That I think that is something that everyone needs to hear, another kind of story, another part of the story, and that's that. But then the vocal performance is absolutely amazing, and I think your interpretation of your work is awesome. And I think the tones we talked about, Mel, earlier is something that's very unique and distinguish itself in such a way. And with this kind of song, I think it's very, very, very amazing. We did a show together in Austin, and I was like, wow, the vocals were on point, and so are they with this song as well. So
Thank you so much.
absolutely amazing. Seriously, love it.
Thank you, King Alex. I appreciate it.
Well, it doesn't leave me much more room to praise your song. I do hear you scaling like at least 3 octaves. What's your vocal range? Do you know?
If I'm being honest, it's different every day. It's different every day. Just like right now, I have a heavy bottom anyway, but it's definitely leaning down towards the lower end, and there's some, higher notes. Let's put it this way. I can sing, and I do sing. I could sing soprano, alto, or tenor. I could sing
That's
any
right.
of them.
Yeah,
My natural range is definitely mezzo. The alto range is my home. That's where I live comfortably. But when I toured with Lauryn, I was singing tenor. So I'm able to sustain that as well. When I sang with this young lady named Ndambi, that's one of Erykah Badu's old background singers. She used to sing background for early Erykah. And I sang with her years ago, me and an amazing singer named Rogier, and I sang soprano, there, and with Prince, with his band, with MPG. I was doing soprano there. So I'm able to pull it all off, but home for me is that middle range.
Yeah, I see that, but I also know you really can move up the scale, and that's I think that always brings interest to a song to me, because you don't get bored with its kind of middle range tonality. I mean, so it makes the lyrics live stronger. you know, and you have, and their lyrics to that song are really wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Let's turn to Alex, because I got to tell you, you know, I'm a big fan of Alex, like I am of you. And when I heard Alex's song "Lose My Religion," it blew my mind because, you know, I haven't heard anyone since Al Green or Sam Cooke. You know, those are just two, and also Otis Redding. I haven't heard anyone who does Southern Soul sing a song any better than Alex sang that. And Alex, I don't mean to embarrass you with praise, but it's true. And I think you are or will become the king of Southern Soul. You have an amazing voice. You're a terrific songwriter. You know, and you know, when I heard "Lose My Religion," I immediately called friends of mine that have radio shows in Canada, Australia, and Japan and the UK. I just lost one of my earpieces. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I called them and I told them, you got to hear this. And they all have put it in their rotation. They all started playing
Wow.
"Lose My Religion." You know,
Awesome.
and then I brought it to people who are promoters for a city winery, and I talked to them and I listened to them, and they were blown away too. So,
Thank you.
yeah, you know, you have a phenomenal voice, great storyteller. And then I found out on "Lose Your Religion," one of my friends, Kelly Finnegan from the Multiphonics, I didn't realize that was the band on that track.
Yes. Multiphonics out of San Francisco.
Yeah, and that's an old funk, jazz, psychedelic rock.
Yeah.
I mean, they do it all, you know. And,
Oh yeah.
you know, Kelly had been on my show on the Power Hour too, and I
Oh,
didn't
nice.
realize. Yeah, I didn't realize that they were the people who are on your music. So, you know, now you have a song out, "Millionaire." Why don't you tell everybody about it before I play it?
Sure. So Millionaire is it comes out actually, it makes it available March 1st. And the song is about love and celebration, and is I like to say that it's in its purest form. I think the way, unfortunately I didn't write it, but I'm singing it. There are a few people prior to my recording it. Solomon Burke was one of the first, and then Chris Stapleton not long ago recorded it. But I think this was something that is very for me is very important to share the message of love in a way that it celebrates something that is similar to what Mavis was saying, kind of the other side. And we talk about breakups and makeups, but this never really talk about a breakup. This just talk about how we can celebrate love, and it can be a romantic love, um, or a celebration. This song also can be about family or friends as well. I think it can be applied to many different situations, and that's what we need more of in the world. And I think that love is something that, not just a word to say, but is a live, is a felt experience, as some may say, is an action word. And I think that's what Millionaire represents, the reason why it resonates with me, and I would hope it will resonate with people around the world when they hear the song from a lyrical perspective, but also my interpretation of this composition is absolutely amazing. And I had a chance to work with some amazing musicians in Nashville, and recorded at a studio called Sienna Studios, which is, I love to understand or know a little bit about the history of the studio and who recorded there. And that studio has a lot of history in the wood, you know. The Jackson Five, I think we've heard of them. Uh, Diana, Diana Ross, and the list goes on. So I felt I was taking a step back in a time machine in history from a physical location, and the talent that we worked with. The guys on the music and the engineer was absolutely amazing. So super excited to share this with the world, and thank you, Mel, for allowing me the opportunity to play this song.
I think it's going to be a great hit. This is Millionaire by Alex Harris.
They say love is more precious than gold. It can't be bought and it can't be sold. I've got love enough to spare that make me a millionaire. I got a woman with eyes that shine down deep as a diamond mine. She's my treasure so very rare. She make me a millionaire. When we ride around this old town in a beat-up car with the windows down, people look at her, they look at me, say that boy sure living in luxury, sweet luxury. I got love more precious than gold, and it can't be bought. Oh, it can't be sold. I got love, yeah, enough to share. And that makes me, oh yeah, millionaire. I'm a millionaire. When the kisses fall from everywhere, life reaches on, yeah. Oh, a millionaire. I know, yeah. When the pockets are empty and the cupboard's bare, I still feel like a millionaire. Oh, when I got love, more precious than gold, can't be bought. I do, a millionaire.
Wow.
Thank you.
That is great. You know, a quick question, couple of questions. Who are your background singers? They were amazing. And who's your guitarist?
Oh, Josh is playing guitar, and then the background vocalist is me and Chantel Hampton. Chantel is a phenomenal vocalist who's worked with everybody. If you saw the Whitney Houston movie that came out, I think it was on Hulu or something like that. She's did a lot of music and background and stuff, work with that. And she's a great songwriter too. Yeah.
Terrific. Mavis, go ahead. What's your take on it? What do you think?
Let me tell you, if I didn't know it was Alex, I would have thought it was a seasoned white man. That's what I would have thought. A country singer, a seasoned, older white man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's the first one I heard.
I just didn't say it. They
Well, you know, every man ain't the same.
Yeah, there you go.
And you know what? May I insert here? What you don't know, Mavis, is that I listened to country music ever since I was a teenager, and because I'm from Georgia originally, and some of the great stations, and of course on the Christian side, it was a CCM. So we grew up influenced. So I have this kind of natural influence from these different genres. I have this strong gospel, country, and so I embrace it all, and that's what makes it, I guess, uniqueness. But I've never heard that expression before. That's hilarious.
What is it about the song, Mavis, that really grabs you?
You know, it's such an authentic and unique timbre, the quality of his voice. Also, it just takes me to church. You know, it goes there. The arrangement, the way everything feels. He just goes to this space that I feel like I haven't heard since my dad's music.
That's it. Yes.
That's it. Sam Cooke, like all the greats, and just and when I first heard Alex sing, I just remember he was so quiet before. So I was like, oh, it's probably going to be cute.
And then this comes out.
Let me tell you, when he got on that stage, I don't always sit and hear other performers because, especially if I've already sang, I'm like, well, let me just go rest, get myself together. And I just remember hearing it and not being able to get up and walk away. Like I had to sit in the audience just like everybody else and just take that lesson. And I mean, it was really phenomenal. Am I breaking up?
No, you're doing great.
I mean, it really, Alex, you have quite a gift. And I mean,
thank you. Likewise.
I'm not always a fan. I'm not, but I am definitely a fan of the gift that you have. And I would definitely encourage you to delve in in country music. And you know, I think you do it justice. I really do. Honestly, you do it justice.
Thank you.
Well, I hear strong gospel and soul, and especially Southern soul. I understand this connection to country, but I definitely hear the gospel.
Oh, for sure.
I hear the preacher in you.
Oh yeah. That's what I used to do when I was little. I used to put on my dad's shirt and preach. That's my dad's preacher. Yeah.
I have a question for both of you, and you don't know how excited I am to have you both on, and for me, there's a good reason. And this is my bias. I admit it. Urban music it dominates radio and media, and in all due respect to hip hop and rap, I had the pleasure when I went to college. I attended Queens College briefly, and I met Paul Simon, and I became friends with him. And when rap started coming out, I asked him what he thought about it. He said, well, my first response is it's not music, it's syncopation. And when I listen to development of hip hop and looping, to me, there's a great repetitiveness, lack of instrumentation. I mean, it doesn't ring my bell. Let me put it that way. And again, it's a respectable genre. It just now what I found is recently, Gen Y and Gen X and Gen Z are doing crossover. In the UK, there's a lot of jazz, R&B, and hip hop. It's crossing over, and it's bringing back jazz and bringing back R&B. And Generation Y and Z are really embracing it. And I don't know what you think. That's my thought. I mean, do you agree with me? Disagree? I think that old music that you were just talking about, Mavis, is coming back. What do you guys think?
I agree. I mean, maybe it's you want to say something.
Yeah,
Oh,
John
yeah.
Batiste.
I think that I think what it is, and I had this conversation with a few people before. What it appears to be to some a sound of yesterday for the generations you name, Y and Z, and those are coming up. It's fresh, it's new because they haven't had a chance necessarily to enjoy unless they're going to the record stores. I mean, even though they're crazy over vinyl, and even cassette
Mhm.
tapes, it's a thing. They they sell the cassette tape players and Urban Outfitters and so on and so forth. So I think it's very, very different. I think, unfortunately, a lot of the industry heads, per se, some of them rather, may not get it or are only seeing it and looking at it from a numbers streaming, because the thing about what made the music industry what it is today, history lesson, is what was done then to
Sorry.
we're still human beings, right? We go through these different phases and our experiences, the phases, the part of our human experience is to go through these different phases of life that can relate to these similar messages. So the in general, the story is the same, different messenger, if you will, or different interpreter, because of the observation of how we see it. And so I think that, yes, we have different technologies, but we've always had different technologies, to help us, to aid in telling the story. And I think what it's nothing. It's always been part of an existence somewhere in the sphere. And I think that we're just at this place where, as we think as an expansion, I think it's almost like as the world turns, we're kind of experiencing it. And depending on when you are here, how much of it you experience. And so I think that that's where we are. And that's my long answer to your question.
Yeah, I I was amazed when I heard a person who's part of Gen Y say, "What's that instrument?" And I said, "That's a Hammond organ." They had never heard an organ because,
Yeah, they never heard, yeah, they don't have the names for it, but then they like there's an appreciation. It's kind of
yes,
like when you talk about what's that, that sounds like when it first came on the scene, because it is first time coming on the scene for them, because they are, well, depending on where they land in the on our trip around the sun and moon.
yeah, and then it's so funny too because what this young kid was listening to when I was talking with him, it was somebody who was on my show, Felix Cavalieri, and he's the master of the Hammond organ. And he was listening to. He said, "Man, that's really cool." And it's these kids haven't even been exposed to instruments. And that. So yeah, that's why I am so thankful for you, Mavis, and you, Alex, that you're bringing something back to music that needs to be heard. I mentioned Jean Baptiste. It's back. It is coming back. But you guys have your mics muted, by the way, right now.
Yeah, yep, I
I'm just
agree.
kind of, yeah, I have
Okay.
like people beeping in, sending me messages and all kinds of stuff. So
Okay.
I'm just mute.
Mavis, you haven't had a chance to comment on this. What's your thoughts about where music is heading today?
Where it's heading. Well, I will say this. Well, I think it's very interesting if I can comment on what you said. Paul Simon said that it is basically
Syncopation.
syncopation. Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I also love hip hop, and I also think of like there are some very melodic rappers.
Yes.
Now, it
Yes.
doesn't mean all of them are and all of them are
Yes.
not, but there are like the name that comes to mind is Slick Rick. People like,
Yep.
it's different ones that
Yep.
they have tone. And now we have people like Drake and different people that are playing around with
Mhm.
tones and and melody. Um, it's not meant to be that. It's not meant to be singing or something else.
Right.
It's meant to be what it is, and it has its space, and I respect it. I stand behind it. I stand before it. I stand beside it. I love hip hop. I do. Because of where it was, what it was birthed through, and I think that I think a lot of the music, it's space for everybody. Let's just start there. It's space for everybody.
Yes, there is.
And where people may not want to listen to a song, when you're frustrated, you don't want to hear singing necessarily. When you're boxing, if you're working out, if you're doing certain things and it needs high energy, or it's a certain thing that you want to feel, if you're Mike Tyson getting ready to go out and do something, you're not listening to I'm not going to say, because that's definitely not the case for everyone, but you're not listening to Ave Maria, or you don't want to listen to Mariah Carey. You want to hear LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out. You want to hear something that's like speaking to something that it speaks to an emotion. So, it definitely is a space for it. And I love, but there's also messages. The message, it's like country, it's no different to me. Country music is known for the messages. That's the brilliance of hip hop. The messages come in a different syncopated fashion, So the music today, I just feel like it all borrows from the past, it all borrows from it. There's nothing new under the sun, but there are gifts like Samara Joy, who, comes in and just kills it for everybody. Like, just awesome, and there's a young man that a lot of people may not have heard of. His name is Peter Collins. And he just has a gift. So there are people that know the instrument well. Technology has advanced it to where people use those resources. People are taking chances with music, with those things. The auto-tune at once was used to correct intonation.
Right.
And then it became a liberating device that people use that can't sing, like Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne, different people, Little Wayne. I'm sure I shouldn't say Little Wayne, but Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne. It's just or what's his name? T-Pain, who can sing but also uses, that. So I think people just now take risks that were frowned upon. Now I do take issue sometimes. And, judge me, don't judge me. When people like calling a DJ a musician, things like that, they kind of.
Thank you.
I went to school for music.
Thank you.
A lot of years for a lot of music. So when somebody can just go out and scratch or just mix some things and just call it the same thing, that, it does feel a certain way, but it does have its space. And I still respect it, but the labels, I think it's all it comes down to the labels. But ultimately, I think it's space for everyone. I just think that it makes sense to transform music. If things don't come down, they couldn't go up. So I think, and I'm not saying it's coming down necessarily in a low negative way, but there's an evolution. There's a change happening, and it just makes the Alex Harris's come back and stand out even more, or even what I do. It makes it come back and stand out versus sounding like, whatever it is. You get what I'm saying. I don't even
I do. And I think what I was referring to earlier, and I didn't mean it to sound like, a damning critique. I was just pointing out that a lot of the music, the kind of music Alex does and you do, has been crowded out. It just doesn't get airtime, and the music that is there is limited in terms of its musicianship and in terms of its orchestration. And I'm glad to see that it's coming back. That young people are embracing instruments, look. I mean, this was coming back in 2010 with 24 Karat, Uptown Funk, and Mark Ronson. I mean, this is and young people were gravitating because it was new, and it really wasn't new. It was sampling everything that we knew before. And I'm just glad to see that the airwaves are opening up now more and more to more diversity, which I think had been closed down.
If I can add, there's also, and it's very obvious, there's a lot of propaganda and other things going on. You can tell that by the things that get mainstream attention. If you're talking about the messages that we're talking about, they're training people by what they play on mainstream radio to not be interested in that message. If I'm not bending over, or if I don't have my legs up in the air, or if he's not talking about money or cars or whatever else, people aren't listening. It's the microwave generation where you're taught to get that dopamine in a way that is a lot of times very disrespectful to not only the music, but the people, just people.
To women.
You know,
it's very demeaning to women.
Yeah, well, to people in general, because the guys too, when you're, you know, it's so many different ways when the guys that they're showing have their belt on, but the pants are under their butt, even with the belt on. You know, like it's these kind of things that it just shows there's something deeper happening. But those that are seeking the truth will find the truth. Those that are seeking, like you're saying, the ones that are, you know, what's that? Because they haven't been exposed to it, you know, they'll find it. And that's what, and it's here because we're here. We're still sticking true to it. So, you know.
Exactly. You know, I want to move on to another song that, you know, you mentioned about your kids, The Assignment. And, you know, I think that the sensuous lyrics and your sultry voice on that, I mean, puts it into a whole different universe, you know, and what it proved to me is you don't have to be obscene to be sexy. And, you know, like I'm not a prude. I have no problem with language, but it can be even more sensuous if you don't say certain things. And The Assignment is a perfect example of that. I love that song from the time I heard it, and I want to play that for everybody now. You want to set it up a little bit, you know. You talked about it before a little bit. You know, what were you thinking when you were creating that song?
Well,
unless you don't want to tell us.
Actually, if I'm being honest, and I will be honest, I was in what I call a drought. I was in a drought, and I was in the season of manifesting. Let's say that. And I was when Eddie Stokes, which is an amazing producer, he's produced for so many people, Dr. Dre and this one and that, just so many people. He was the producer of this album as well. And when he sent that music, it took me to a space. I didn't have to work hard to get those lyrics, because it just put me there. And it was just like, okay, let's do it, you know. But it definitely opened the door to a lot of great things in a lot of ways for me and a lot of other people. I'm sure there were plenty of babies that, you know, were conceived with this. But, you know, I always have liked the idea of taking risks and saying the things that make people say, did you say that? Yes. Like, yes. So it's one of those songs, like, you don't hear everything the first time around. And when you go back and listen, you're like, Mavis. You know, I've gotten that a lot. So it's a risk, but it's also, it's classy, ratchet, raunchy. It's all of those things, but it's delivered in a nice package. But it's definitely daring, and I love it.
Well, it must be nice being a female Luther Vandross. All right, let me play for everybody this wonderful track. It's called The Assignment by Mavis Swan Poole. As soon as I find it on my list, there we are. I apologize. Here we go.
He understood the assignment. Baby, just relax. Baby, just relax. Won't you satisfy me? Yes, I will react. Yes, I will react. When you come inside, pull the covers back. Pull those covers back. Whisper to her sweetly. Whisper to her sweetly. She knows what you like. She knows just what you like. Squeezing you so tightly. Now I'm sweating hard. Now I'm sweating hard. Speaking of heart, ooh-wee. Shivers down my back. All down my back. Baby, this is everything. This is everything. He understood the assignment. Got me in perfect alignment. He understood. He understood. He understood. He understood. He understood. He understood the assignment. He did me good. He did me good. Did me so good. Did me so good. Got me in perfect alignment. He understood. He understood the assignment. Yes, you did. Got me in perfect alignment. What is this I'm really feeling? Doing everything but chilling. Got my feet up on the ceiling. Heaven knows he's in so deep. My head is spinning, knees so weak, and I ain't thinking about no sleep. I ain't thinking about no sleep. Every single day that I wake up, I'll let him know that I'm in love, addicted to his touch, and I'm praying his love, his love. Every single day that I wake up, I'll let him know that I'm in love, addicted to his touch, and I'm praying his love, his love. He understood. He understood. He understood. He understood. He understood. Yeah. He did me good. He did me good. So very good. Got me in perfect alignment. Yeah. He understood. Got me in perfect alignment. Every single day that I wake up, I know that I'm in love, addicted to his touch, and I'm praying his love. Every single day that I wake up, I let him know that I'm in love, addicted to his touch, He understood the assignment. Oh yeah.
Yes, very, very, very great.
We have somebody commenting, as Sarah Clark said, "How hot is this?" Yep, it sure is. Alex, what's your take?
No, it was absolutely. I've heard this song before, and I when I first heard it, and tonight as well is absolutely amazing. I think I don't know if I have the adjective to describe this. Your interpretation of compositions is very. I shared this with someone before. There are people who can play the piano. There are people who know how to really play the piano. And I think that's how your performance around the notes and lyrics
Yeah.
are very much intentional. And the song itself was absolutely, I think, a very unique approach that I haven't heard that concept before. So it's a different approach to a very way of speaking of love in its highest form, and taking people there to a place where I think that that's relatable and that resonates. So absolutely amazing. So again, really, really great performance and songwriting.
Thank you
You
so
know,
much.
I have to echo what Alex just said. Your voice fit the lyrics so perfectly. The way you interpreted the words, it reminds me something Miles Davis once said, when you look at a note, it doesn't tell you much. How long do you hold it? How loud do you play it? The texture and color of that note, that's what makes it music, not the note itself. And the
Right.
way your voice spoke those lyrics, it was just, you could feel it. It's a perfect composition. I think it's just excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, I want to change gears for a minute. Both of you have terrific educational backgrounds, and both of you teach. And I'd like to have you talk about the role of education in your professional development, as artists, as well as what you're giving back to the community. So I don't know who wants to start off. I just want you to briefly comment on that.
Go ahead, King Alex. You got it.
well, my I've taught in the at the collegiate level, but I have an academy called the Arts Conservatory for Teens, and that organization that I started with a few of the folks in 2012 has been a great platform for students' discovery, and that was the intention. It's like, how can I discover, and how in my discovery, how can I uncover my gift and talent? And I understand the importance of that, because I think that many of us in this amazing world have gifts and talents, but sometimes those talents sit dormant because there hasn't been an environment that allow that talent to come forward. So I consider what we do in whatever the classroom is, traditional or non-traditional, a place where folk, particularly young people in my context, can awaken that creative part of their existence and uncover it and see where it takes them. I think at the end of the day, for me and my intentional engagement with the organization that we created in our curriculum and programs, that students not only just become aware of that gift and talent, but how do I utilize that for the betterment of my own self growth, inspiration, and that way I can also inspire other folk as well. And so it's been very, very great and amazing. We have impacted over 13,000 students, and it'll be close to 15 this year, and over the past 12 years. So super excited. Education has been a part of my life. Growing up in a home of educators, and my siblings and I think that was the way to go. And so it led me down a path of wanting to learn and learn again and never stop learning in various forms, in the institution and outside the institution.
Wonderful. And Mavis, you have a great educational background. How has that impacted your career as an artist?
Well, it aided what the Creator gave me naturally. So I was doing things, and then I went to school to learn what I was doing. That's basically how it was, what it was. But education gave me, excuse me, it gave me access to other tools that I didn't have naturally. I was able to learn, I was more of, my degrees were in jazz. So I started learning about nines, flat nines, sharp 11s, 13s, all of those things, like the extensions or whatever else. And theory was, something that I feared for a long time because I didn't really understand it. I didn't, kind of shied away from it. But once I really just dug into it, and started understanding, it really started opening things up to me. So I spent a lot of time in fear and in just ignorance because I didn't know. Spent a lot of time not knowing. So it impacted me. I still sound like me. I still sound like me before I had the education and before I went to school. It's just that now when I'm singing a standard, I have more tools that I could access. And, I might be able to go outside of the key and come back in. Also, it's something that with my students, I always try to give them tools that I didn't have so that they don't waste time in the dark as long as I did. Like I want them to carry the baton and go further than I did. And I always tell them, don't, when they say they want to, I'm like, don't be like me. I want you to go so far that when you're looking back, I'm like, no, keep going. Don't look back here. Like you just keep going that way. My job is to push you like the people behind me pushed me, and so it impacted every dimension of what I did because I saw it was accessible and it was doable. And only time wasted was the time that I was afraid to tackle it and start, just learning what I needed to know to move forward as a just deepening my bag. That's basically what it was. But it definitely had a huge impact on every aspect of my life, but definitely my career as well.
But when I listen to both of you, there's one thing that comes to my mind, and I think it tells me a lot about your music: curiosity. Both of you have insatiable curiosity, and you just want to know more, and that's something that's an educational gift that I think expands an artist's repertoire and allows them, like you said, you have the same gift. It didn't change, but now you know how to expand that gift in other dimensions that you may not have had access to before. So I think that it's a lesson for any artists that are out there that are tuning in tonight and listening. Education that may seem irrelevant is relevant, and if you know how to use it in your career. And I think that's one thing about both of you. Your educational backgrounds inform so much of your musical style and what you are today. So, I really, I think both of you have so much to be proud of. It's wonderful to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's turn to another song, Alex, that you did.
Okay.
Something's Gotta Change.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you tell us a little background on that? I love it. But
Awesome. So the song "Something Gotta Change" is a new song that I wrote with Amber Sweeney out of Nashville. She's a up and coming writer, which is something I was hoping to find not only some of the established writers, as you mentioned earlier in the introduction, but I am a member of the Nashville Songwriters Association International, and I reached out and said, who do you have that I can, write with that, is not necessarily the folks that I've already worked with. And they just said, do we have total freedom to just go and find? I said, sure, I want you to surprise me. And I was pleasantly surprised by amazing writers. And this one person, we on FaceTime wrote this song. I had the idea that I shared, and I said, I want something that really addresses, this kind of speak to freedom and of spirit, because so often I think, as I alluded to earlier, we have talents and gifts, we have ideas, we have dreams, and then they end up getting put on the shelf or put under the bed or in the closet, get dust and collect dust because, we lost that spark. Sometimes I think we either lose it or we lost it, and there has to be something that awaken, or we are testament to being awakened to that. And so the hook or the chorus says, "Push down, I go higher," and it really talks about whatever happens in life, I'm not allowing that to be my destination if it hasn't got me to my ultimate goal or dream. I'm going to continue to push and go with all force to accomplish what I set out to accomplish. And it was greatly inspired by the feeling and the vibe by the Stax sound and the great musicians. And I hope that people enjoy listening as much as I enjoy creating this with the team and writing it with Ember. And so I'm looking forward to the results and the response.
I think you're going to get a great response to this song. It's a wonderful track. So let's hear now from Alex Harris, Something's Gotta Change.
Wake up in the morning, run the water on my face. Oh yeah, nothing changed, another day. Same coffee, same old plate. Oh yeah, sometimes the line we have is always gray. Higher, oh try to meet me now. Oh, pull back again. You know something gotta change. Something's gotta change. If I change my routine, yeah, oh, just to live my dream, oh yeah, I believe I'll find a peace of mind, oh, liberation for my soul, oh yes I will. You know if birds can fly free, somebody tell me why not me? I'll start out getting higher. I know, try to make me get louder. Oh yes I will. Like I get faster. I know you. Something gotta change. Oh, I fell in love with my freedom. No, you can't take it away. No, 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 no. Cause the light I carry, illuminates every path I take. Come on now, let me hear you play now. Oh, something gotta change. Trying to beat me, I get louder. Back I get faster, faster. Yes, I do. Something's gotta change. Nothing's gonna get in my way. I made up in my mind. Oh yeah, I believe what I believe. You can't take it away from me. Oh yeah, yeah. Something gotta change. I know I woke up this morning and I made up my mind. Something's gotta change. Yeah.
I got to tell you, when I heard this one, I kept thinking Johnny Taylor.
Mm.
Johnny Taylor.
He's one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, yeah, he's great. He's great. Yeah.
Yep, Mavis, I'll turn it over to you. What do you think of this song?
Well, I must start again. I must start the same way I started last time.
I'll join you.
I wrote down 4 words: soulful, inspirational,
Yes.
vibrant, and necessary. Those are the 4 words.
Oh wow. I like
Those are
that.
the 4 words.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Well, he nailed it. I'm just describing the nail. that it really is it's soul music. You can't get away from soul music. You can't call it anything else. It's true,
No. Yeah.
authentic soul music. It's musical medicine. I
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
tired. My students have a concert tomorrow. So I've been running around, just got home not too long ago. And I somehow found the energy to stand in a corner over here and do a little dance, which that's what it made me do. Like I was
Yeah.
sitting and I was
Yeah.
just like, and I just, it breathes life. It really breathes life.
Boy.
And that's where it's necessary. It's
Yeah,
necessary. I mean,
necessary.
not just for now, for any generation to hear. This is um timeless classics. It's timeless
Yeah.
music. It really is. And I'm just thankful that you're doing your work. You're really doing the important work and you're leaving something that will change and inspire nations for years and years to come. So thank
Thank
you
you.
for what you're doing. This is really powerful. It really
Thank
is.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Mavis, I think you said everything that needs to be said about this work. And Alex, congratulations. You have so much to be proud of. It's a wonderful, wonderful song.
Thank you.
Look, when I listen to it, it makes me smile, makes me feel good. You know, I mean,
That's
and
what we had hoped to happen.
yeah, and in this day and age, it's not easy to feel good.
Right.
It takes a little work. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
I lost everybody for a minute. Um,
Yeah.
And I'm here. You hear me?
you know, technical issues here. Just quickly, I'm curious, if you guys are starting in your career today, what would you do differently than when you started several years ago? Given where music is and the technology is, would you how would you break into the industry? What would
Mel, you sound
you
like this. it's
do?
it's breaking up. I think I heard how we break into the industry.
Okay, everybody's back.
Okay, you there you go. Is the sound is catching up now to the visual.
Go ahead.
Well, I think for me, I would
Yeah.
be fearless. I would just do it. I would be fearless. I would do everything that I thought about. I would just go for it. That would be it for me.
Yeah.
Now,
I think
would you be singing the same? Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
no.
Go ahead.
I was just going to respond to the question and say that I agree. I think you have to just go for it. I think that there we can't think about rules or what if someone does or doesn't enjoy. I think if we have discovered a talent, and this is applicable to any career, but for our music industry, I think you never can tell what someone is looking for. Someone told me a few years ago when I was in college that two things. One was a chaplain, and then another a mentor, a lady that became a mentor of mine, Dr. Crane, and she said, Hollywood thrives off of ideas. So you could be the idea that someone is looking for. She told me that, and a lady by the name of Sylvia St. James, who launched the House of Blues Sunday Gospel, and she said that so never basically hold back. Basically, the other person that told me a quote that I gave a statement that I quote often is that don't use the gift, let the gift use you. And later, what he means by that, I don't know, but what I later uh, uh, discovered in my own reflection is that the gift that each has can take each person, or you, or me, places that we never dreamt of. So, and maybe say, just go for it, be fierce. I think those are the thoughts. Like, allow the gift to take us, places that we never thought we would go or dreamt of going, and or be in the company or work with people that we thought we never worked with, or never even just not even had a thought of working. But that's what the gift does when we let go and let the gift do the driving, and we sit back and just put all what we can and seize each moment. I think that's very important, and that's what my thought is today. In that regard.
Yeah, I think when I look at the music industry, and I've been around longer than both of you combined, probably, but when I look at the music industry today, I think you're both hitting on something. You have to let it go. You have to just believe in what you do and do it. And don't second guess yourself. I mean, it's a different world now. There's no A&R, there's no record labels. They don't give you studio time. They don't put you out on the road. You got to find your own space. And that's one thing. The other thing is, I think if I was starting out in the music industry, I'd want to take a really good course in business. Yeah. I mean, putting together a team, it's all on your shoulders now as an artist. I mean, you have to drive the business side too. It's a lot. It's a lot to do. So the first thing is, I think you're both hitting on it. Go ahead and do it. But also do it intelligently. You don't want someone to own you, or you won't have a career. You'll have a hobby. And that's not new. That's old. But how you're owned today is different. When they pay you 0.0008 cents a spin, they're owning you. You might say I got 1 million spins, which is cool, but you just made $800. So I think that today, if you're starting out in music, you really need to really be cognizant of the business side. It's a lot of pressure on any artist. And you have to be really committed. It's a whole different ball game today.
Right.
So I think, yeah. So let's turn to the last song of the night for you, Mavis. And your song is "How We Grow." It's a perfect segue to what we were just talking about. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the background to "How We Grow"?
How do we grow? It actually was based on a real life argument with a person that I argued with a lot. And I realized I didn't like arguing, and I wasn't going to anymore. I realized that when we were in the bed, there was never arguments. But the moment we sat up, we couldn't see eye to eye ever at all about anything. So that's really the basis of it. It's just one of those songs of just like, speaking on that, like how can there be more if this is where everything makes sense? If the bed is where everything makes sense. So that's basically in a nutshell what it is.
How do we grow? Yeah. When I heard this song too, and please correct me if you think I'm wrong, this was you moving into neo soul. That's what it sounded like to me. And and you're so multi-genre, which I never know what to expect when I'm going to listen to one of your new songs, and I love that. I love that part of it. I don't know what genre and what's going to come out, and I think that makes your fans always interested in the kind of work that you do. And so let's play for everybody. How we grow. I think everyone's going to really find a different Mavis Swan Poole in this song. Let me just find it on here. Here we go. I got it. How do we grow?
Argument after argument, I spend time trying to find where I should have drawn the line in my mind. History repeats itself again, 2 losses, 0 wins. close. This is not commitment. It feels more like a sin. And I require more than that. And no, you can't have me on my back. And yes, I heard everything you said. But can we get along outside of the bed? Kiss and make up. But there's no wake up. But there's no wake up. Just feeling nasty. Real love is patient, deep as the ocean. How do we grow? How do we grow? We just do the oochie coochie. I'm deeper than the things you give me credit for. Have you noticed how I walk through every closed door? And we both know that you're a very brilliant kid, but you don't respect me when it comes to reasoning. And I require more than that. And no, you can't have me on my back. And yes, I heard every little thing you said. But can we get along outside of the bed? Of the bed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of the bed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh. We fight, we break up. We fight, we break up. But there's no wake up. But there's no wake up. We just do the nasty. Oh, yeah. Real love is patient, deep as the ocean. Real love. But how do we go? We just do the oochie coochie. We fight, we break up, kiss and we make up. We fight, but there's no wake up. But there's no wake up. We just do the nasty. Yeah. Real love is patient, deep as the ocean. But how do we grow it? How do we just do the oochie coochie. Argument after argument, I spend time trying to find where I should draw the line. How do we grow? How do we grow?
That's absolutely beautiful. Alex, go ahead. What are you?
Yeah, let me, the late great Andre Crouch said it this way about Marvin Winans, that Marvin was one of the great interpreters that he knew. I think that Mavis is one of the greatest interpreters that I've heard. And what I mean by that, I'm not sure what Andre Crouch meant, but in full, is that your ability to something that I heard the great Patti LaBelle say about being able to engage the audience from a performer perspective. I think you do that vocally extremely well, and is very conversational. So not only were you talking about, the conversations and so on and so forth out within the context of the song, but just in general. And so I was listening, I was like, you're telling a story. Not only is a story that's written, but then it's a difference when you can sing about a story and then actually tell the story that was written about. And that's what I mean about being a great interpreter, and just the different approaches to how you color the words to really convey your message to the listener, and you paint the picture, and that's very important. And I think very, very heartfelt and lots of passion in your interpretation. So it was really, really great. And you wrote that as well, right?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Thank
Fantastic.
you. Thank you. Thank you so
You
much.
know, I think, Alex, you hit it right on, again, you hit it right on the head. And I think when I hear that song, Mavis, the thing that strikes me, it's, there were, just like Miles Davis said about notes, there are words and there's lyrics in a song. You can read the lyrics, but when you sing the lyrics, they take on a whole more intense meaning.
Yep.
That's that's why it's called soul, because you actually get to people's soul. It's not just poetry on paper, which is, the lyrics are phenomenal, but your voice is an instrument that enhances the meaning of the words and the feelings that go with the words.
Absolutely.
So, I think Alex hit it on the head. You're a tremendous interpreter. I've had Mickey Howard on the show, and I love Mickey.
Yeah.
And Mickey, when I've seen Mickey live several times, and Mickey bends notes like somebody like Stevie Wonder would bend a note on the harmonica. She has a sense of the word and what the feeling is that word is supposed to convey to the people she's singing to. It's very complex. It's not simple, and that's what you do. You convey the meaning of the word in your voice, and it's a wonderful talent. And that's why having both of you on the show is such a privilege to me. I really want to tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time to be on the show tonight.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate you and your support in this space we call music, because I think very few people like you, hard to find, that genuinely support and that want to amplify the work that artists like Mavis and me and others, what we do, right? And I really
thank you.
wholeheartedly am grateful.
Thank you. And I want people to know you more than just listening to a track that they stream or download. I want them to know who is this person who's making me feel the way I feel.
Exactly.
So that's why I like to do these long, in-depth interviews, because I want your fans and new listeners to know who you are as people, professionals, and what's behind that song. Who is it? So
if I can jump in too, I
sure.
can't let that just slide and not thank you as well. And what I love about it is that you give artists time and space to kind of unpack. It's not just like everything is so quick and we have to hurry up and I'm asking you 3 cold questions and keep it moving. I do value that, because sometimes if you don't have that space and you're never really talking about it in this space, no one else really, they might care about the song. Nobody else, I don't want to say they don't care, but you don't always have that opportunity to talk about your music. A lot of people don't get it anyway in the space where you can go dig deep. So not only do you introduce our audience and other artists to what we do, for me, you introduce me to myself, because as I'm unpacking, I'm like, yeah, that is how I feel about that. But no one had asked. And if they did, I didn't have a space where I could really talk about it amongst other people that really got it, not just fans. And not just family or friends or people that have a decision to make that are going to make money from what I'm doing, but just a space where it's, open, it's loving, and it's inviting, and I'm able to, like I said, unpack. So I really appreciate you for sharing your platform with us and just.
Yes.
Well, that's what this platform's supposed to do. Too many people think all you guys do is get up and sing. and it isn't that way. And I want them to get to know that, what you put into your craft and how dedicated you are. And, and the final product is a result of the people, the person, not just the technology, it's the person. So that's why I designed Hitmakers. I wanted to get people who are really putting the music out that everybody's listening to for them to get to know you. So I think it's working. We have over 60,000 people listening in right now. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yes.
a lot of people listening to you. So I want to wrap up with the last song from you, Alex, which I love, and the way in which the music is flowing makes a lot of sense for the show. And the last song is "Way Up," and it's "Way Up." We have a comment. Let me just see who's commenting. Here's someone. Oh, beautiful show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here's some. They're getting to know you, and that's the intention on your music too. So let me go back to the last song, which is "Way Up," and why don't you introduce that to everybody a little bit?
Sure. So the song "Way Up" was I went to Nashville a couple of years ago to write with friends of mine, Sam Ashworth and Rudy Amanafu, and I had an idea that said, "What do you want to write about?" And so Sam said, "Oh, I had this kind of idea," and he picked up his guitar and he started just kind of like, chink, chink, and I said, "Oh, that's really cool." And so started out, but before he even picked up a guitar, we started talking about the concept, and I said, we had gone through a lot, all of us in the world, unexpected seas. I think as a word that we've heard a trillion times, seem like now unprecedented experiences during the 2020-21, and even for some 22, because of the residue of 2020. And so I said, I remember 2019, December 2019, towards the end of the holidays, we were doing all the holiday parties, and then my wife and I went to Miami to this kind of ceremonial thing where you had the fire, and we were throwing it, saying we're going into 2020, and our expectations for 2020 was, wasn't what we experienced, even though it turned out to be very pleasant. But that's what the song was born. It was kind of like we start out one day, or whether it's a morning, or whether it's towards launching a business, or launching a record, or writing a song, whatever. And then sometimes it feels that the bottom falls out. As an old saying, it says, when it rains, it pours. But I think even in recognizing the reality and embracing whatever reality is for me or anyone, I then understand that that's not, as I said earlier, the end of, or the destination. That is part of the journey. And that's what the song, I often say, celebrates every part of the journey. And it's a sense of hope, it's inspiration, and even though it's groovy, it really speaks to that part of, and it's told in a love story. We get together, and then we're gonna do all these things, and then it seems like the struggle happens, or the challenges, and realizing that every day is not the honeymoon, the first night of the honeymoon, or the honeymoon phase, or whatever, in any aspect of life, that you're going to have different phases and different challenge that could be challenging if we allow it to challenge us in a negative way. But if we allow it to challenge us in a positive way, we can only go up. And that's really what the song talked about. And that's what kind of the conversation that we had around writing this song. We wanted to talk about life. It's a life song. and it encompasses everything, love, what one may categorize as hardships, but I categorize it as this life. And experiences.
It's really interesting, because we think about 2020 and people were quarantined. How we grow, people got to know each other, and it wasn't always easy. and, and that's what that's what I when I was thinking about your song "Way Up," and I was getting the show ready and thinking about Mavis's song. I'm thinking, man, this really talks to 2020, and look on the bright side of life. That's what you have to do, and and work things out. So this is a wonderful song, and I just want to say before I play the song that this song has a Hammond organ in it,
Yes.
which I think is one of the great instruments,
We love
of
it.
soul. So
Yes.
so I want everybody to listen for my Hammond organ. I love. So this is Way Up, and it's by Alex Harris, and I think you're going to really enjoy this.
Started out so strong, like nothing could ever take us down. And the bottom fell out. We had our feet on solid ground, and cracks started to spread around. Only deeper love was found. When we looked a little closer, there's a flower we could see rising from beneath. Thought we had lost all of everything. Now we know what we know. Sometimes the rain has to touch our skin, so we grow. Now we know we're on the way up. Hey, we're on the way up. Yeah, on the way up. Oh, we're on the way up. Yeah. Now we don't get stressed about all the rest. We just take it easy. Nothing left to do. And if we see someone along the way who's not okay, say, hey, we know what you're going through. Yeah. We looked a little closer. We saw the only thing we need. It was a hope of our beliefs. Thought we had lost all of everything. Now we know what we know. Sometimes the rain has to touch our skin, so we grow. Now we know we're on the way up. Oh, baby, we're on the way up. I know, yeah, we're on the way up. On our way. On the way up. You make my heart sing. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, na. You make my heart sing, baby. Oh, yeah. Na, 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 na. Ooh. So come and look a little closer and see the blooms growing free, rising from under our feet. Oh, on our way, on our way. Here's the truth. I've never loved anyone as much as I love you. Oh, baby, I know. Yeah. I feel like a lucky man to have a girl like you. Hold my hand. Oh, on my way. Feel so much better now. I feel so much better now. Oh, I got you by my side, yeah. But everybody walk away as long as I got you by my side anyway.
I was watching you, Mavis. Mavis was freaking out. I
Thank you for
caught you.
telling me now. I know. I know.
Mavis was doing this.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I mean, it's Al Green.
Yeah,
It's Otis Redding.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sitting here sitting at the dock of the bay with a whole different message. This it literally is. Now I understand, King Mill, because I heard what you said earlier. But this literally feels like if you put these songs together, and I like how you put these two. How do we grow with this? That's how we grow.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to feel the rain on
Yeah.
your skin. It literally is like the answer. This is how we grow. Like just this. I mean, it's just. It's so much. It's so much. It's so good. You really would feel like with the other songs, like, oh, I got a good idea of who he is, his sound, what he feels like. You can hear the similarities. It's you, but each one is unique, and each one invokes different feelings. This one, I had chill bumps all up and down my arm. The others felt good, but this one right here. I'm telling you, the message is so powerful, and I'm not just saying it because you're here. It really is it really is just important music, and it really just feels good. It feels this is music you can feel. It's not you can hear it, yeah, you can hear it, but you can feel this music.
Right.
Yeah. Mavis. Yeah, Mavis, you captured it beautifully. And Alex, when I was listening to it, I just kept thinking that it's hard to capture somebody's soul, literally. I mean, literally. And and when I'm listening to it, I'm listening to the lyrics and listening to how you sing the lyrics and how the music is scored. I don't know who your music director is, but it's absolutely phenomenal. The orchestration is just phenomenal.
Thank you.
And it's just very powerful. That's all I can say about it.
Thank you.
And I congratulate both of you. And you've made my day tonight. I really appreciate it.
You likewise, Mel. Thank you for taking the time and again for making this opportunity so we can share our story.
Yeah, I have one kind of a final question that I want to ask you, a brief one, both of you. If you could collaborate with anybody, anytime, anywhere in the world, who would that be? It could be a vocalist, it could be a composer, it could be a musician. Who would you want to collaborate with from any time and place? It could be Bessie Smith. I mean, you see Handy, and who would you want to collaborate with if you could?
I'll say Bob Marley.
Okay. Wow.
Michael Jackson.
I would.
Okay. I love Michael Jackson, and I think Quincy Jones.
Wow.
And now Alex Harris.
Yes.
That's one thing I want to say. Both of you need to do a song together.
Yes, I agree.
You have to do it.
I didn't know that
until some ideas.
I didn't know that until this, which is why, King Mail, I must say, Alex, don't forget your answer. I must say that's the importance of what you're doing here. I've never done an interactive interview like this where I'm giving immediate feedback on another artist's music. I'm thankful it was him and I like the music because wow, if it was something different, that would have been interesting. But this is the importance of it. I didn't know I needed this in my life until this interview. So thank you for this.
You're welcome. That was my intent. My intent was to get artists to know each other too. And
that's really cool.
So Alex, who would you collaborate with?
That's a hard answer for me, and so many different ones. But I will say a few. I would like to. I would like to collaborate with the person that has the media right now, Taylor Swift on writing. I think that's something we can create to co-write, and to sing. She did a song that I may even cover once, but it's to be determined. It's to be announced. To be announced. Also, I would love to collaborate with Al Green on a song.
Sure.
That would be
I
different.
can see that. I can see that.
And you know, I'm going to ask to share also what Mavis said, and that was Quincy Jones. I think he's just absolutely a genius.
He is.
And the way when you see all the things that he did, from gospel to movies to the biggest records in history. I'll go further back to Frank Sinatra. I mean,
Thank you. Yep.
I mean, absolutely amazing. And yeah, so I mean, there's so many great artists I would love to collab. Aretha Franklin, and in fact, before she passed away, she was working on something that was this close to say 20 feet. My now late cousin was going to work on it with, and he was going to have me in on that.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So but anyway, you know, and of course I've already said then we're gonna do something. Mavis and I are gonna collaborate. I really like it. I remember it when in Austin, and we like, oh my gosh, she can sing.
I'm looking forward to that one a lot.
Me too. I have some ideas.
Yeah, you know, I had Dwelle on my show. And I asked Dwelle that question, and he picked somebody I never would have guessed, Minnie Riperton.
Oh,
I wouldn't have paired him with Minnie Riperton, but that's who he said he'd love to collaborate with.
He's love struck. That's what that is.
Yeah, really.
Who is Minnie Riperton?
Oh, she was amazing.
Yeah, I want to do something with Jay-Z too. I think because you know when he and Kanye sampled Otis, I said, "Oh man, I got an idea." Yeah. I think there's something to be said what you said earlier about hip hop, and I think in soul music, it's all soul music. I think that if in different faces or different expressions or interpretations of what it is to connect or what it is to talk, because some people just connect based on the stories on every genre, whether it's country, whether it's I think that's where it really connects. And we have this idea of soul expression because I think the way we express what we categorize as soul music in such a different kind of a side of passion, if you will, right? And it was from facial to, you know, how the intonation of our vocals or the interpretation of lyric was so passionate. Then if you were singing ragtime or big band or blues was very similar, but different. It lays in the cut differently than a lot of soul music. But anyway, that's enough conversation for another day, I think. But I think that a collaboration like that would be absolutely. So of the 60,000 people that are listening, if you happen to be Jay-Z when he's not receiving his global award, let him know that we're very interested in collaborating.
Wonderful. Look, I want to thank both of you again, you know, for making my day and being part of Hitmakers. And I'm sure what you've given to everybody who's listening in today is really amazing. And
thank you all for
again,
listening.
you know, good luck in your future successes. And you know, I want to have you both on the show back again.
Yes, for sure. We will love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Our next show, we're gonna have Kanya Das and Ashley Smith.
Oh, awesome!
Two really great vocalists coming back for the next Hitmakers. So have a great night and good luck to both of you and stay well.
Thank you. Thank you, Noel. I appreciate it. God bless you.
Good night, everybody.